The arena stretched vast and gleaming under the triple suns of Valorian Prime, its crystalline floor reflecting the roar of 10,000 alien spectators. Commander James Holt stood at the center, rolling his shoulders as he assessed his opponent across the gleaming expanse. Princess Kara of the Valorian Empire towered before him, nearly 8 feet of scaled muscle and refined combat prowess. Her crimson armor gleamed like fresh blood, and her forearms flexed in sequence, each hand gripping a different weapon. Twin plasma blades hummed in her upper hands, while graviton maces rested in her lower grip. Her reptilian features twisted into what might have been a smile, revealing rows of crystalline teeth. "You cannot last a single second against me." "Human," Kara announced, her voice amplified across the arena. "Your species is soft, weak, untested by true combat. I have trained since birth in the Valorian way. I have conquered champions from 17 star systems. You are merely flesh and fragile bone." James checked his wrist computer, tapping through a few screens with deliberate casualness. "Right, sure. Are we starting, or are you going to keep talking?" The crowd fell silent at his irreverence. No one spoke to the Princess of Valoria with such casual dismissal. Kara's scales darkened to a deeper crimson, a sign of rising anger among her people. "You dare mock me? I shall break you in 3 movements, human. Perhaps 2. Your arrogance will be your epitaph." "The thing is," James said, finally looking up from his device, "you've never actually fought a human before, have you?" "I checked your record. Impressive stuff, really. But not one human opponent. Curious oversight for someone claiming to be the best." Kara's tail lashed behind her, cracking against the crystal floor. "Humans are beneath notice. Your kind has only recently joined the galactic community. You have no warriors of note, no combat traditions spanning millennia, no genetic modifications for warfare. You are unworthy of preparation." "Cool theory," James replied, dropping into a loose fighting stance. His only weapon was a simple kinetic baton, barely 2 feet long, hanging from his belt. He made no move to draw it. "Want to test it?" The arena master's voice boomed across the space, counting down from 10. Kara settled into a perfect Valorian combat form, weapons positioned in a defensive lotus pattern that could strike or defend from any angle. James simply stood, weight balanced, hands empty and relaxed. The countdown reached 0. Kara moved like lightning, closing the 50-foot gap in less than 2 seconds. Her species was famous for their speed, their reflexes enhanced by centuries of genetic refinement. The plasma blades came first, sweeping in a scissor pattern that could bisect a battle tank. The maces followed, creating gravitational distortions that would crush bone even without direct contact. James wasn't there. He had moved perhaps 6 inches to the left, letting the plasma blades slice through empty air with enough heat to create shimmering waves. The graviton maces passed close enough that his hair lifted from the distortion, but his expression remained utterly calm. He still hadn't drawn his weapon. Kara spun, her forearms flowing into the next attack sequence. 17 victories had been built on this combination, a pattern that created an inescapable cage of energy and force. High, low, middle, and reverse, all angles covered simultaneously. James ducked under the high strike, sidestepped the middle, and simply leaned away from the low and reverse attacks. His movements were minimal, economical, almost lazy. Each dodge used the absolute minimum energy required. "Impossible," Kara hissed, pressing her assault. She accelerated, moving faster than most species could even perceive. Her weapons became a blur of destruction, each strike powerful enough to shatter stone. Each combination refined through years of drilling. James avoided them all, not with dramatic leaps or acrobatic flourishes, but with tiny adjustments of position, subtle weight shifts, microscopic turns of his shoulders. He moved through her attack patterns like water flowing around rocks, never where the strikes landed, always in the spaces between. "You're telegraphing everything," James said, still not breathing hard. "Your upper right hand always tenses a microsecond before that diagonal slash. Your tail drops 2 inches before you spin. Your scales darken before you commit to a power strike. You're predictable? Predictable?" Kara's voice rose to a shriek. She channeled power into her maces, increasing the gravitational distortion field to maximum. The air itself groaned under the pressure. She slammed both maces down in a devastating overhead strike that would create a localized gravity, well, crushing anything within 10 feet. James rolled forward, passing beneath her center line as the maces struck where he had been standing. The crystal floor cracked and buckled, a crater forming from the impact. He came up behind her, finally drawing his baton in one smooth motion. He tapped her on the back of her left knee dot. It was barely a touch, more of a suggestion than a strike. Kara's leg buckled slightly from surprise, more than force. She whirled, all 4 weapons coming around in a horizontal sweep designed to catch an opponent, regardless of position. James had already dropped prone, letting the deadly carousel pass overhead. He swept her legs, not hard, but precisely. Kara stumbled, but caught herself with her tail, using it as a third point of balance. Impressive recovery, James had to admit. "How?" Kara demanded, her breathing now labored. Sweat gleamed on her scales. "How do you move so?" "Humans are predators," James explained, circling casually. "We evolved chasing prey across open ground, running them to exhaustion. We read body language like you read star charts, because our survival depended on knowing what the prey would do next. We developed brains oversized for our bodies, because we needed to outthink stronger, faster animals." He paused, considering. "Also, I've been fighting since I was 6 years old. Boxing, wrestling, mixed martial arts, military combat training, zero-gravity combat, weapons qualifications in 17 categories. I've spent more hours studying fighting than you've been alive, Princess. No genetic modifications, no enhanced reflexes, just practice. Lots and lots of practice." Kara roared, abandoning technique for raw aggression. She charged with all 4 weapons extended, a whirlwind of destruction that would overwhelm through sheer volume of attacks. James stepped into the attack dot. It was the last thing she expected. He moved toward her, not away, slipping past her guard before she could adjust. His baton struck 3 times in rapid succession, gentle taps by arena standards, but placed with surgical precision. Once against her right elbow nerve cluster, once behind her left knee, once against the base of her tail where it connected to her spine. Kara's weapons clattered to the crystal floor as her limbs went, momentarily numb from the nerve strikes. She staggered, trying to maintain balance on legs that suddenly refused to obey properly. "That's the thing about genetic modification for combat," James said, not unkindly. "It makes you strong and fast, but it doesn't teach you adaptability. You train against opponents who fight like you do. When someone breaks the expected pattern, you don't know how to adjust." Feeling returned to Kara's limbs, but she didn't retrieve her weapons. Instead, she straightened, drawing herself to her full height. "You have made your point, human. I yielded to no warrior before you. I yield now." The crowd erupted in confusion and disbelief. Valorians did not yield. They fought to incapacitation or death. Such was their warrior code. James offered a small nod of respect. "You're incredibly skilled, Princess. In pure physical ability, you're leagues beyond me. But fighting isn't just physical. It's mental, strategic, adaptive." Kara's scales shifted through several colors, emotions playing across her face. Surprise, respect, and something else, curiosity. I was told humans were weak, unworthy of true challenge. I see now this intelligence was flawed. Yeah, we get that a lot, James admitted. People see that we're not the biggest, not the strongest, not the fastest, and they assume we're easy. Then they're surprised when we've somehow survived and thrived, despite competing with everything trying to eat us on our homeworld. How did your species ever survive to reach the stars? Kara asked, genuine wonder in her voice. James grinned. We're stubborn. We adapt faster than most species can track, and we absolutely refuse to give up. Ever. On anything. Humans are endurance hunters. Princess? We might not catch you in the first sprint, but we'll keep coming, keep learning, keep adapting, until we figure out how to win. It's kind of our thing. Kara retrieved her weapons slowly, her movements thoughtful. I wish to learn this human combat methodology. My victory record is ... was. My greatest pride. You have shown me it was built on incomplete knowledge. I could teach you some basics, James offered. Though fair warning, human martial arts focus a lot on fighting opponents bigger and stronger than you. Might be a new experience. For the first time since entering the arena, Kara's expression showed something other than warrior pride. She laughed, a deep rumbling sound that echoed across the crystal floor. I believe I shall enjoy being humbled. Commander James Holt, though I warn you in return Valorians are quick studies. Wouldn't expect anything less, James replied. The arena master. Confused about how to score a match that ended in yield rather than defeat, finally announced James as the victor. The crowd's response was mixed shock, respect, and uncertainty blending into a cacophony of alien voices. As they walked from the arena together, Kara,